snatch? What do they have in common? So, oh, and I forgot about golf performance. So let's talk about golf performance and what can be a limiting factor, which is technically fatigue, pain, muscle weakness. That can be a limiting factor for golfers. And so the serratus anterior, which is one of the muscles that we're going to strengthen with the box and with the dumbbell, and then the half get up, which is the muscle that we're going to technically the movement that we're going to strengthen with the dumbbell and the half get up, and then the snatch out of a plank is going to be a surprising exercise in the muscles that we use. So let's start at the top. So the serratus anterior, I'm going to go over why we strengthen that. So the strengthening of this and how you can know if you need to strengthen it works like this. So I'm going to get in a plank position on something that's elevated so that I can feel myself being pulled to the ground. I'm going to drop. I have actually lanyard right here. So I'm going to drop by the drawstrings. Imagine they're being pulled straight down and then press back up, down, back up. So if you can do 15 of these, no problem. You don't have to worry about your serratus anterior. But if you shake the entire time and or what happens, a lot of people, they do this, right? You're trying to compensate. So you're actually trying to substitute lat motion, which again, lats are good, but we don't want it in this motion. We're trying to strengthen that position. So straight down, straight up. I'll just do 2 more for the sake of time, okay? That is a simple way to test if you need to strengthen your serratus anterior. Now, if you did that and you were like, oh man, I really feel that, do that. Let's say sets of 10, 12, 15. If you didn't get the 15, that's fine. You're going to work on sets of 10 or 12. You can do this anywhere. You can do this between 2 chairs. It's a great exercise to strengthen that serratus anterior, the muscle right here. So how does that relate to the half get up? Let's take a look. So the half get up and why this is important. So the half get up, and there's another golf exercise out of this. The half get up, right? Dumbbell here. I'm going to press through this heel, this elbow. Okay, so I'm pressing down and pressing up. This arm's going up. This arm's pushing down. So I got this kind of push, and now you can see why it's similar, but in a different way, and then push. Okay, and then absorbing, and then back down. So with a dumbbell, I'll show you the other side. Coming at you. Here, okay? Push down, push, push, push. And I mean that by the muscles that I'm thinking about using as I do this exercise are those. So in that position, if my serratus, right here, if my serratus, going back to this one, if my serratus is a problem, then it's going to show up probably that's an unstable move. If it is, here's what you do. So this exercise here, okay, what we're going to do is work on keeping it, but I'm going to press it to the ceiling without it really changing three-dimensionally and moving that much. So I'm going to bring my knee to this side, okay, get my arm above my head, bring it up, press. I'm pressing away from me, okay? So I'm taking this and I'm using my hip to be the challenge and the instability, and then come back. Press and back. So I'm pressing and rotating my ribs. This is almost like a side plank with rotation, if you can imagine that, with my hand being on the ground, but a little less load, and then back. Okay, I'll show you on this side. So knee up, 90 degrees. Let your knee start the movement, and then I'm gonna press my knuckles to the ceiling, okay, and try to move all as one. Press. My knuckles are above my shoulder, which is above my other shoulder. Okay, if it goes into your neck, you can use your hand, and then come back down. Press. Come back down. Press. Okay, and kind of pull down at the top. I press up, but make sure that I'm not moving and I'm not way out here. Okay, so the press to the top is so that we get in a position where we're stable and we can stay. You notice there wasn't a lot of wobble there. So this motion, super important. This motion, that pressing pattern engages that. So what I just did. Why is that important? Golf swing. What do we have to do? Okay, so I'm not saying that you need that the serratus anterior is the reason that you're not hitting greens and not bombing drives. However, when we look at limiting factors in golfers, arguably, a lot of them spend a lot of time on the golf side. When we talk about the fitness side, they want to spend more time practicing, which is fine, or playing, which is fine. But analyzing movement starts with, where do you feel that? And obviously by watching them, but also, where do you feel that? And if the wrong muscles are being used, or the muscles that we're intending, let's put it that way, aren't being used, then we have an opportunity. So that's where that is. I would say that's on this side, working this side of things, thinking about, let's get that stabilization from the superior to take place. So now what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to show you, this was the third exercise, the snatch out of a plank. Like, what the heck is this guy talking about? So I'm going to get a plank position, because I'm going to actually, watch this, I'm going to press into the ground to brace myself and to give myself some support, and then do a snatch and stack my dumbbell on top of me as I do it. I'll show you. So what you're gonna do, I'm gonna make sure that I got enough room on here, and I'll make sure that I get your side view here so that I got a good angle. So coming at you, okay, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna snatch, pause, come back down. I'm pressing into the box, press, back down. Now, you might be like, why aren't you moving your hips? That's the key, okay? So, and that feels good. Like, man, I feel like I'm open at the top. What you'll notice, okay? This will be a good image for you too. What you'll notice at the top position, okay? If you're in the right position, you're gonna notice this is what it looks like from the top, okay? If you're not, you're gonna feel unstable with the dumbbell at the top, okay? And you're probably gonna feel the front of your shoulder, the down shoulder, right? You're gonna be in a position like this, right? So it's called anterior humeral glide. You don't need to know that, but you need to know that we need to keep the golf ball on the tee. So keep that position, own that position, right? And then keep stable. And you might be like, well, shouldn't I train for something before that? Love that. This is a side plank, and you can hold the dumbbell at the top. 2 for 1. You're gonna overwhelm and overload the obliques. Boom. Hold, you get the dumbbell. Your shoulder gets stronger here too. Pressing into the box. Now you get that serratus and the muscles around the scapula to stabilize that joint. And it's really kind of the exercise before. But I started with today saying the serratus anterior, the half get up, and then a snatch out of a plank. That's those 3, okay? The first exercise for those just joining was this. You're gonna drop and then back up. And if you do 15 of those, then you probably don't need to work on it. But if you get like 5 or 6 and you're like, all I feel is my neck, that's what we're missing, right? The muscles of the serratus anterior is a super important muscle. So now let's talk about an advanced theory, okay? Which is, so when we did these exercises, we did up and then we went back. Why is that important? In the golf swing, up, technically I'm pressing down, not technically, but the muscles that are working to press this way. But if those muscles are stronger, meaning this pattern is strong, then how is this one? So we're identifying movement patterns and inefficiencies with those movement patterns based off of asking somebody where they felt the exercise. So if somebody felt the exercise in the right spots, it sounds like this. If I'm doing the Turkish get up, I'm gonna feel like I'm working here and here, right? The front and the front of the hip and the front of the obliques and abs. If I'm not, and it's too much weight, then I'm probably feeling it in the front of my shoulders. And so the stability of the shoulders needs to be improved, but you can use that, but it might not be the best exercise for that. So the half get up or the Turkish get up might be a problem instead of necessarily a solution. Second, if you're doing a plank or a side plank, and you're like, yeah, all I feel are my shoulders. This is where the elevation is super helpful. So the elevation allows us to take some of the pressure off of the shoulder. When we're down in a plank in a position here, this is when somebody says, all I feel that on my shoulders. Well, that's somewhat common. Then we probably got to get them up. So we're changing the angle so that we get less shoulder, okay? And we get more core, whether it's here, whatever version it is. Now we're making it so that they feel the exercise more in the intended movement and muscle that the exercise was designed for. So all of that to say, the exercises that you choose when making an exercise program and learning exercises should be felt in the right spots. And so when you finish an exercise, you can ask yourself, two things. One, was that easy, medium, or hard? If it was easy, I need to change the resistance or change the angle, right? And then the second thing, where did I feel that? And if I felt it in the wrong spot, then I probably need to change that. So the other glorious thing about this is that I have a new toy. It's called What's That Strap? And I'm going to teach you how to use, you don't have to use this. You can also use a band, okay? But I'm going to teach you how to use it, all right now. So what you're going to do, you can take a band and attach it behind you, all right? And then from here, you're going to face out from the origin. It's going to be a low position, okay? We're going to work on segmenting and using the serratus anterior in conjunction with your obliques. It's a powerful statement there because they are connected. They're literally next door neighbors. In conjunction with your serratus anterior and your obliques, we're going to turn our torso. Sounds fun, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap around, okay? Get here, okay? I'm in a good position here. I'm going to have hands on my shoulders. Sometimes people, though, they like to use and lead with their arm, okay? This is probably not heavy enough for me. You actually need it to be the right resistance to pull you so that you can feel the resistance. You can already see, right, that like I'm just moving. Okay, I'll put the hands back. So I'm going to turn as far as I can. Let the turn happen. Come back. So turn, come back. And ideally, what happens, I'm going to dig in here, not moving here, okay? Turn, come back. Turn, come back. Turn, come back. Okay, so this is fascinating, right? The concept here is how much are you moving and segmenting from here up, right? And then without my arms. There's another exercise we do called the half kneeling up chop. What's the problem with the half kneeling up chop? Nothing really, but if you're an arm dominant, I tend to be that way sometimes, you're gonna initiate and feel the exercise more in your arm muscles than your oblique. This, I can feel it. It's not enough weight, but that's so I can maintain perfect posture when I do this. So turning my shoulders, right? And just my shoulders, and then turning that torso, that's the game here. So this, though, I want to show you something. So this, and there's a couple exercises different than this, but this is the opposite of what we just talked about here with the pressing muscles, okay, and the shrug, right? So what did we do, though? We initiated the turn from here. So we turned back from our rib cage, from that bottom spot of our rib cage, and maybe this would be the good visual so you can see the opposite pattern. I've seen this a couple of times. So this would be the final exercise in the triumvirate here. This is too light, but whatever. So what you would do, okay, is lie 90 degrees from the cable, okay? This is, again, probably not the right angle, but that's okay. And then I'm gonna anchor myself down and pull, and then back. Pull. So now I'm putting all these things together, okay? We just did the press like this and trying to get my elbow to the ground. So if I get my elbow to the ground, okay, I'm cheating. My knee is off the ground or off the other knee. If I get my elbow to the ground, though, that's a good shoulder turn, and that's probably gonna help me finish, okay? If I'm just analyzing myself right now, this would be a problem. Watch what happens on the other side. Let me see the other side. I bet you I get down there. I have more range of motion on one side versus the other. But this would be a good shoulder test. Yeah, I get down there better. So I have more range of motion on this side, which is what I thought. See that? So just analyzing that pattern, what do I need to work on? Opening that other side, right? I need to get that separation. So what a fascinating real life. I didn't know that was going to happen. Analysis of range of motion, but also not necessarily strength, but strength through that range of motion. So we started with saying that serratus anterior is a really important muscle, and here's how to test for it, right? The plank position. Then we went to the half get up and how to use a half get up and a variation of the half get up that might be beneficial, right? To strengthen that, but to focus less on the half get up thought and more on the using your hips to stabilize at the shoulder joint and focus on the stability at the shoulder joint. And then we went to another exercise with out of a plank and how to use the plank position to strengthen the serratus anterior. And then finally, we went to the kind of this pull down situation after doing the half kneeling rotation just from the torso, half kneeling rotation, and how it actually identified a weakness in my range of motion. So again, the curiosity in me is that the reason this turn is not necessarily great in my golf swing, right? So if everything biomechanically looks good, people could argue about the swing, but biomechanically, if it looks good on a golf swing, backswing, and everything's good until there, then I have a limitation somewhere that we just saw on video, real time, and I have a limitation, then that shows up, then we might have a problem. And that's maybe the solution. It's not necessarily golf related. This is why golf fitness and fitness are so fun, because in the middle technically is golf fitness, in the middle and the outside is golf, and the other side is fitness. But really, I believe that they're all one. And so when you demonstrate this control per exercise and the different versions of these exercises, I think you get a lot out of taking another look at, where do I feel this? Was that easy, medium, or hard? How'd that go? I hope this was helpful. I'm Coach Kev. Let me know if you have any questions.